In this video, I'm going to reveal exclusive style tips straight from Japanese fashions that you can use right now, today, tomorrow. And trust me, the last few tips are the most important, but every single one is simply going to make you look better, so you're not going to want to miss a single beat. Stick around to the end, buckle up, let's get after this. Secret number one, completing the look. Let's start with something that seems obvious, but many people overlook: completing the look. Putting the whole look together. It's not just about the clothes, it's about everything working together: makeup, hair, accessories, and even for men, hair, accessories. For example, in gyaru style, you'll often see heavy dramatic makeup with bold lashes and contouring to match the daring and pretty loud outfits. But for something like otona girly, softer makeup, think peachy tones, subtle eyeliner, maybe a little bit of glitter on the eyes, completes the delicate feminine vibe. Accessories and hairstyles really matter. A clean updo or a polished bob can really elevate a structured minimalist outfit or look, while loose curls or playful braids perfectly complement Harajuku inspired styles. The key here is intentionality. Everything should work together to enhance the overall aesthetic. For men, generally, things are a little bit more simple. A hat or a bag can really complete an outfit if the style approach is more on the conservative side. But when it comes to something more outlandish, like visual kei, something more alternative and expressive, hair and jewelry is extremely important. Completing the look doesn't necessarily mean you're missing something. In fact, you might even need to take something away. You wouldn't want the wrong type of hairstyle or accessories to clash with the actual outfit pieces that you are wearing. Pro tip, start from the middle outwards, so your top, then your bottom, and then your accessories, and then your hair, and then your makeup. You're looking in on the entire outfit, kind of speculating, does this all look good together? Does it look cohesive? Am I missing something? Do I need to take something away? How's my hair? And just really scan yourself from top to bottom to see if there's balance and harmony. Quick question for you: which of these Japanese outfits do you think nails the complete look? A, B, or C? Which one looks the most complete to you? Let me know in the comments. This next secret in Japanese fashion is one of my absolute favorites. Secret number 2, neutral versus provocative. So this is what I love about Japanese fashion, is it's so diverse, it's so fearless. There's so many options for you to draw inspiration from. Japanese fashion strikes a balance between neutral simplicity and bold statements. If you're into a timeless look, you're gonna wanna try monochromatic outfits, clean basics in neutral tones like beige, black, or white. Brands like Uniqlo and Comme des Garçons nail this vibe. But on the flip side, Japanese fashion isn't afraid of loud statements, of huge expression. We've got big shapes from Lolita fashion to vibrant prints from street style looks and graphics from punk inspired Harajuku styles, or steez from urban hip hop culture like Bathing Ape. The trick? Keep it calculated. If you really want to try a louder fashion statement, you've got to be careful here. You can accessorize the heck out of a decora or kawaii outfit. Lolita fashion, it incorporates fabulous dolly-like shoes, hair pieces, wrist cuffs, and even fancy umbrellas, fancy bags. For men, you can go all out on alternative techwear and even try out some flashy makeup and dyed hair. Pair a really interesting techwear side bag to go with that kind of outfit and some bold statement platform shoes. Try some layers. There's even looks in the middle of that spectrum between neutral and provocative. Urban wear for men is a great balance between being streamlined and having simplicity, but still standing out and having a little bit of that edge. And then in the middle for women's fashion, you could try a jirai, I think that's how you say it, jirai K outfit, where that dolly-like femininity that you get from Lolita is incorporated, but it's not quite as big. It does meet a youthful look, but there's a classiness about it, and it's in a more subdued manner. If you're truly aiming for a more neutral expression, simply having your hair freshly cut, clean, evenly parted in your natural hair tone, this is a really safe look from Japanese fashion for men or women. I noticed in Japan, people really have nice hair. I often saw a lot of people just wearing a nice loose fitting top, a loose fitting bottom, really comfortable but intentional with the colors, with comfy and clean shoes, and then just a little tote bag, a hat, maybe some shades. You don't really see anybody leaving the house just throwing on like a tracksuit or sweats. So even when you're aiming to be comfortable, you can still be fashionable. Coming up, I'll share how Japanese fashion secretly uses proportions to make you look taller. You don't want to miss this. Secret number 3, length and width to look taller. Japanese fashion often plays with length and width to create a more elongated silhouette. For women, long skirts or wide leg pants give that graceful vertical line. For men, longer shirts or outerwear that extends past the hips can add height and elegance. Often men are also seen wearing looser fitted pieces. The wider edges of a larger fit pant or shirt creates more of a relationship with the parallels of design, creating an eye-catching look, almost like a modern take on kimono proportions. In the more provocative and complicated styles, there is a mixture of more form-fitted pieces, likened to Western tailoring. So depending on what you're going for, you can still bring height to your outfit within some of the sub-styles of Japanese fashion. Japanese fashion has a wide array of super comfy platform shoes, actually, for women and for men to sport throughout the entire year for any season. The width of a clothing piece doesn't have to go overboard for men, just a little bit more relaxed from a tighter fit will do. And for women, adding width with a petticoat or with bloomers to that skirt can instantly bring a more slim silhouette to the waistline. It's about length and width in the right places for your particular and specific body type. If you want me to dive deep and go more in depth about length and width for particular body types, hit me up in the comment section and maybe we'll make that an entirely new and different video. Try adding length and width to your next outfit and tag me. I would love to see how you put it together. Let's keep the ball rolling on the secret science of Japanese fashion. We've talked about 3 really great fashion secrets here. First, completing the look, even shaping your eyebrows, having your foundation properly blended, your eyeshadow properly blended. For men, having that one part of your bang styled a particular way could really complete your look. Then we talked about secret number 2, neutral versus provocative, and everything in between on that spectrum. So being really intentional with what you're going for. Are you going for a more provocative look? And how are you accomplishing and executing that look properly? And then we talked about length and width. Next secret number 4, is super risky and very underrated. Wanted to say mix and match, but I'm gonna say mixing but matching. We're throwing the word but in there. But, why are we saying but? We're saying mixing, but matching. We're not saying mixing and matching. This is really important. And this is also for the minimalists. But let's talk more about the wild ones, more about the expressed ones. Minimalists, we're gonna talk about you too. Japanese fashion really invites society to wear whatever you want as long as it looks good. So styles like decora doesn't have a lot of unstyled negative space on the body, but everything is still calculated. When we're talking about these expressive hair styles, these expressive accessories, these playful patterns, there's a lot of different JFashion styles. Let's just say all the JFashion styles that are not super minimal and clean cut are about expressive hair, colorful accessories, complicated accessories, and they can be really out there, but they're never messy, and it's because there is balance. So if your outfit has a lot of patterns, you're gonna wanna go for solid colored pieces to keep things grounded and vice versa. For accessories, basically follow the rule of 3, earrings, necklace, a bag, hat, necklace, and a watch. But then again, this is very flexible when it comes to the more outlandish JFashion niches. If you're gonna throw that rule of 3 under the bus because you are going for a more bold statement, how exactly are you doing it? So for example, I have really long arms. And for me, what I think looks great is having, a good amount of negative space on my arms. So if I was gonna go for more of a decora look, then I would stack a bunch of bracelets here, maybe here, depending on the length of my t-shirt. But if I had shorter arms, then I'd go for less. I wouldn't cover my entire arm with bracelets all the way up to my elbow, and that's just me. But maybe I would do it if I was wearing a dress that had spaghetti straps. So again, we're getting really intentional and calculated here. For men can also have fun with punky chokers and rings and crosses for that goshiku roku fashion. For men, that are going into more of that like post-apocalyptic Y2K look. We could get some shades, we could get some textured pants and a really nice bag, and mixing but matching colors and shapes, a bucket hat and some really cool statement sneaker sandals that are platforms. But for the more modern urban man, he can focus on just mixing some colors and prints. So these really tie in with secrets 1, 2, and 3. For a home run, you want to be, again, calculated and intentional. Definitely mix, but you gotta match, you gotta come off polished if you're mixing up prints, layers, patterns, accessories, etc. Are you still with me? This next secret will blow your mind. I feel like people don't talk about this a lot either. We're gonna talk about textures. They can completely elevate your wardrobe. We love fabrics, we love textures. Secret number 5, textures and layers. The Japanese actually have a long history with textures and fabrics. Textures are a whole other Japanese style hack that is truly overlooked. Combining fabrics like cotton and wool and silk all in one outfit can add depth and interest. For example, a summer morike outfit might include a lightweight linen dress layered with a crochet cardigan. In the winter, you can try pairing a wool coat with a sleek satin scarf, and don't forget to think seasonally. Japanese fashion always takes the season into account, from breezy fabrics in spring to cozy layers in autumn, Japanese tech wear for the winter. Everyone changes their pieces from winter to spring, summer to fall, but Japanese fashion has this great little ninja tip that is so underrated: keeping things crisp. So even when we're talking about textures and layers, having that element of crispiness really keeps things truly sharp. Even in an outfit that's dominantly loose fitting, having flat, clean edges creates a seamless overall texture to complete a look. Secret number 1, again, that just brings it home. Take these 3 outfits, for example. Each of them have at least one crisp appearing texture with the other textures, finalizing the fit. I've included layering alongside textures because this is where the textures really come to shine. Japanese fashion loves layering. Layering is fun, and you can create a lot of different looks with layering. It's not just for warmth, it's a way to add complexity and personality. For example, wabi-sabi inspired looks often create asymmetrical layers. We're looking at a long tunic layered over cropped pants. Lolita adds frills and lace, stylish belts and cardigans, sheer fabrics over solids, collars under crew necks, and scarves and vests. And we are talking about layering and textures with the hairstyles and accessories as well. Everything can be executed correctly with layering. So again, mixing but matching to come correct. Try not to incorporate more than 2 textures in one outfit and no more than 4 layers. This final secret coming up is definitely the most important. And I would say that all of these style secrets overlap with each other, but each are really specific, and we could dive deep into each of these secrets. If there's been anything from this video so far that you want to talk more about, please let me know in the comments section. Are you ready for the ultimate tip? This last one, again, is the most important. It is a total game changer. You're on your way to becoming a professional stylist for the most important person in your life. That is you. Let's review the style hacks so far so that you can implement them the next time you get ready to face the world. Secret number 1, completing the look. Make sure that it's polished and intentional from head to toe. Secret number 2, neutral versus provocative. Which end of the spectrum are you trying out, and how are you executing it correctly? Secret number 3, adding length and width to create a particular silhouette. Secret number 4, mixing but matching. Again, be calculated here. Secret number 5, textures and layering. And finally, style secret number 6, head and toe statements. Head and feet statements. Head and shoulders, knees and toes? No, head and feet. So we're talking about the main event here, usually the main event. If not both, at least one, feet or head fashion. In Japanese fashion, footwear and your hairstyle is often the main event. Now, the shoe game and the hair game in Tokyo, in Osaka, in the major cities of Japan, it goes hard. Sneakers and skirts are a total thing in Japanese fashion. Hairstyling in Japan is a pretty prestigious career path, and there's huge hurdles to pass if you want to really make money in this career path, and you really can. The hairstyles in Japan and the cutting game of just cutting hair, coloring hair, really does go next level. They even have on location curling rods and hairstyling tools at photo booths so that you can just style your hair to take pictures with your friends. So having good hair is pretty much a requirement for you to leave your house in Tokyo, and I think it's a good requirement for everyone in the whole world. It's just a good measure for humaning. Get rid of those split ends. Part your hair in the right place, nail that hair color. A little bit goes a long way, and take it to the next level of visiting the salon on a regular basis or teaching yourself some hair trimming tips so that you can keep things really fresh and be on top of your game in your hair fashion. And then when we're talking about shoes, you could have awesome hair, an awesome outfit, but if your shoes don't match, if your shoes are dirty, if they don't balance and complete the look, they don't add harmony to your overall look, why even bother putting time and attention into getting ready at all? Your shoes should speak volumes to your style, even if it's winter time. Get the right style of shoes going. Keep your shoes clean. If you're going for a grungy look, still keep your shoes clean. You can nail everything on your body, but if you don't nail your hairstyle, you don't nail your shoes, you have failed. Your shoes and your hair should truly drop the mic. So there you have it. Style secrets from Japanese fashion. Everyone should know, everyone can benefit from these. Maybe this was just a little reminder, a little refresher, because you're already on your fashion game like nobody's business. Let me know in the comment section what you're sporting this year. What are your favorite pieces in your closet and why? And what really grinds your gears in fashion that other people do? I would love to know what irks you. Like, subscribe, and share this video to your socials if you're passionate about fashion in general. Next up, check out this epic Harajuku shopping haul that I filmed right in Tokyo this past summer, showing the latest trends from 2024. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys in this one.